But I gotta ask you about Kamala Harris. How you feel about her?
She's a piece of shit. I was in California. She lacked professional competence, and she worked on it by hiking up her hemline when she needed influence rather than researching. She's always tried to do the casting couch to get where she wants. Now, the problem is that'll get somebody to a certain level quickly, but you can't get past that level if you don't have competence and talent.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Kamala Harris is officially the new Come On Queen. Come On is a reference to a marketing ploy that often implies deceptive or misleading tactics used to attract consumers. I know what you guys are thinking. Y'all are nasty. Go ahead and smash that like button, drop the comments down below, and hit subscribe. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. The Come On Queen says that she wants to build over 4 million affordable homes. Yet there are 1.7 million homes for sale today that aren't selling because interest rates are too high and it's too unaffordable. The Inflation Reduction Act and the American Rescue Plan were also come-ons. The cost of American taxpayers was $3.2 million and could have built 8 million homes or given every Black household in America $290,000 to buy a new home. Let's go ahead and jump into this Fox News and see what the come on is all about.
Vice President Kamala Harris proposing up to $25,000 in down payment support for first-time homebuyers. But President Trump says policies like this will destroy our country.
What they're doing is a communist takeover of our country. Her plan is very dangerous because it may sound good politically, and that's the problem. And we have to be very careful, because when somebody gets up and says, we're going to give you everything, $25,000 for a house, we're going to give you all sorts of little goodies, free health care, we're going to give you everything. This is communist, this is Marxist, this is fascist.
And Kamala Harris also makes no mention of the crippling interest rates, how high they are. The current average rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage is nearly 6.5%. That is up 133% since the Biden-Harris administration took over. CEO of Cardone Ventures, Grant Cardone, joins us now. Good morning, Grant.
Hey, good morning to you.
Good morning. How will we afford this? $25,000 if you're a first-time homeowner. We're going to pay for all illegals that come across our border, their health care. We're going to make everyone pay into this, into a single system health care. How will we afford this? Plus, they're paying for college tuition.
Yeah, Ainsley, look, Kamala Harris is either financially illiterate or she believes her audience is. This is called come on marketing. The $25,000 credit is a come on. It will not happen. The $6,000 child credit requires you to have 2 kids in the same year. That's a come on. The 4 million homes that she came out with yesterday in 4 years is absolutely impossible in this country. And to control prices is a come on. This is a marketing strategy, a gimmick where there's a promise of an offer that cannot be delivered at scale. It's typically used as a bait and switch, some kind of offer that exaggerates, that has hidden costs, exaggerated claims. And Kamala Harris is the come on queen now. That should be her new title.
What's required for a first-time homeowner? I know you told our producers earlier that it takes a lot more than $25,000.
Yeah, look, $25,000 credits are already being delivered by builders, by the way. So the government doesn't need to do this. The builder is willing to do it today. But even if you could do that, the average loan today is over $400,000. The average cost of a home is $440,000. So even if you gave a credit, the first-time home buyer does not have the down payment. $32,000 on average this year is the down payment, much less the ability to maintain the house, to take care of the insurance, which could be as high as $1,000 a month, the HOA fees, and the property taxes. So while she says she'll give $25,000 away, it's like the car dealer that says, look, the payments are going to be $90 a month and no money down, but you get there and you leave with a $500 or $600 payment. It's impossible to deliver like the American Rescue Plan and the Inflation Reduction Act that delivered nothing to this country. It was $3.2 trillion. That could have built 8 million homes, or it could have provided 48 million Black households with $300,000 in cash. But that didn't happen either.
Grant, thank you so much for giving us your perspective. We appreciate you waking up early for us.
Whew, what do you guys think about that? What do y'all think about that? She is officially the new come on queen. After her quote unquote rally today, Kamala Harris was asked how she'll pay for the handouts that she's promising after a long-winded word salad. This is what we got.
Yeah. Can you explain how you're going to pay for those? And can you give us a sense of what other policies you want to unveil going forward?
Sure. Well, I mean, you just look at it in terms of what we are talking about, for example, around children and the child tax credit and extending the EITC. It's at $6,000 for the first year of a child's life. The return on that investment in terms of what that will do and what it will pay for will be tremendous. We've seen it when we did it in the first year of our administration. We reduced child poverty by over 50%. So that's a lot of the work. And then what we're doing in terms of the tax credits, we know that there's a great return on that investment. And when we increase home ownership in America, what that means in terms of increasing the tax base, not to mention property tax base, what that does to fund schools, again, return on investment. I think it's a mistake for any person who talks about public policy to not critically evaluate how you measure the return on investment. When you are strengthening neighborhoods, strengthening communities, and in particular the economy of those communities, and investing in a broad-based economy, everybody benefits and it pays for itself.
She has no idea what she's talking about. She said return on investment approximately 4 or 5 times is what I counted. It's ridiculous. She has no idea about how she's going to handle anything. And the media that was honestly, I'm keep bringing this up because the media that was once on her side is no longer on her side because they are like, this lady does not know what she's talking about. We don't have any plans or policies in place. Let's jump into this video. This is the kickoff of the DNC, and this is from CNN. Shout out to everybody watching. Smash the like button.
Independents are going to decide. They were with him. Now she's in the race. They're wavering. And the way to get them back is very clear. Hey, if you're mad about inflation, maybe we don't put the people back in charge who caused it. That's the message. Print it, frame it, hang it in the Louvre. That's all you got to do.
He did have a.
That's all you got to know. People don't know because is she the liberal U.S. senator? Is she the person who ran for president on the most far left platform even as far left as Bernie Sanders? Is she the vice president who tried to handle some issues with the border? Is she the person now who sends out unidentified spokespeople to walk back all of her previous positions? What we started to learn Friday is that she's the person who wants to institute all kinds of interesting government price controls and massive upheaval in our free market economy. So people don't know, but they're going to have to learn. And the challenge for Trump, and that's why the polling is moving, is that he's got to define her before she defines herself as something that she obviously is, which is a radical Democrat. He can beat radical Democrat. Generic Democrat, he's close. Radical Democrat, he's in the game. Yeah.
Man, oh man. Even the biased media towards Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party are turning. They are turning. Here is another interesting video that I wanted to share with you guys. It is about what Harris wants to resurrect in regards of national policies. We're already well aware what these type of policies have done in places like Venezuela, but let's jump in because it was brought to the United States during the Nixon administration.
The time has come for decisive action. Action that will break the vicious circle of spiraling prices and costs. I am today ordering a freeze on all prices and wages throughout the United States for a period of 90 days.
On August 15th, 1971, Nixon announced a 90-day hold on all prices and wages across the United States. Now, interestingly, after this 90-day hold on everything, wages, every type of product and good. For 90 days, inflation fell from 6% down to 3% over a 2-year period. But when the government eased off these restrictions, prices immediately shot back up. This is in 1973. So what did Nixon try to do? Of course, put the freeze back in, put another restriction on prices of goods and wages, stricter controls. But this time, it's like a gas pedal that you hit too many times. It didn't work to control or tame inflation at that point in American history. That's America. That's the 1970s. Now, let's bring in Fox business anchor David Asper to walk through some of this history. David, great to see you this morning. It's pretty shocking, actually. When we listen to Kamala, we do think of Venezuela. We do think of the Soviet Union. It's pretty shocking, though, to go back in our own history and say we've toyed with this kind of stuff. And we can really analyze, did or did it not work with Nixon?
Well, nobody thinks that it works. I mean, you have analysts on CNN, you have the Washington Post, you have the New York Times, you have Jason Furman, who was a former Democrat. He was in the White House informing Democrats about how to work the economy. Everybody knows it doesn't work. Two things happen when you use price controls. First of all, you repress inflation. It's like a boiling pot of water, and you put a lid on it and slam the lid on tight. Eventually, it's going to explode. That's exactly what happened in the 1970s after Nixon put his price controls on. Once he took, first of all, the reason he took them off, the price controls, is because it also creates shortages. That's the second thing it does, because companies simply stop producing stuff that they can't make money on. That's how the free market works. You produce things that you can make money from. If you lose money every time you produce something because of price controls, you stop making it. And that leads to shortages. We had shortages in the 70s on gas, these long gas lines. You had to wait 4 or 5 hours to get a tank of gas. We had on everything that we put price controls on, we ended up with shortages. And of course, we've seen it in Venezuela. You saw it in the old Soviet Union. So when you finally take the price controls off, you have this boom, this explosion of inflation, which we saw in the mid to late 70s. That had to wait until Ronald Reagan came along to fix the problem, and he did. So she's trying to resurrect the most agreed upon disaster in economic policy. And it just shows her also her ignorance of the way the economy works, the way businesses work. I mean, the most fundamental thing about business is if you can't make money doing something, you stop doing it.
You know, David, by the way, for anyone who's watching, and I know many that are watching are old enough to remember, but for anybody that's young enough not to remember, what David's describing are striking images. Those gas lines waiting 4 or 5 hours in the 1970s, seeing cars lined up down the street. That's America. And I almost feel like, David, I'd love to do another wall here to show this is actually the inevitable result. These are dominoes falling. So, in other words, if you institute a government policy of spending more than you have over an extended period of time, then you have to print money from the Federal Reserve. Then you have inflation. Then you have to raise interest rates from the Federal Reserve to try to tame inflation. At some point, you arrive at the domino that she just knocked over, which is price controls. And you're projecting forward. We know what comes after that. The next domino is shortages. This is the chain of events we're headed down in America.
Well, the dumbest suggestion that she made yesterday, and presumably she's being advised by economists that are as dumb as she is in terms of their understanding of economics, is the idea that rising prices are the cause of inflation. They're not the cause of inflation. They're the result of inflation. Inflation is created by too much money created by the government and too few goods because there are too many restrictions on producing things, whether that's a lot of regulations, high taxes, whatever it is. You have to either increase the supply of goods by lowering tax rates and lowering regulations, or by stopping printing so much money, or best of all, do both, which is what Ronald Reagan did. So he had growth and a slowing down of inflation. You don't need to have a recession in order to kill inflation. You just need a more supply of goods. That's good for everybody. It's good for the economy. It lowers the debt. It does everything.
This is incredibly important analysis. You can get more of this from David, by the way. He's going to be today, 3 o'clock Eastern time, Journal editorial report.
Drop your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about that. What do you think about that? And before we jump out of here, Harris and Walsh went to go speak at a high school, and this was just another ridiculous word salad from Miss Kamala Harris here. It was crazy ridiculous, and you guys just got to watch this. Drop your comments. Let me know what you think about her speech to these athletes here.
So I've been reading about you all and hearing about you and your excellence and how you work as a team. And we've got 79 days to go until the election, but we wanted to stop by, and I wanted to stop by so I could tell you all in person, looking at each of you in your eyes, that our nation is counting on you and your excellence. We applaud your ambition. You want to compete. You want to win. And I will tell you that we as a country deserve to give you every opportunity that you have to achieve your excellence that you were born with, that is God-given, and that is going to be laying the path to the future of our nation. You all are the future of our country. And you all have known from the day you were born, we're all born leaders, and it's just a matter of when people decide to turn that on. The fact that you're...
Yo, look at Walsh's wife. Right here. We'll get back to the video, but look at Walsh's wife. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Doug's over here clueless. Oh, tampon teasy.
With that is God-given, and that is going to be laying the path to the future of our nation. You all are the future of our country. And you all have known from the day you were born, we're all born leaders. And it's just a matter of when people decide to turn that on. The fact that you're on this field today tells me you decided to turn it on at an early stage of your life, to be a leader and to be a role model. And you know, it's not easy being a role model. Welcome to the role model club, right? Being a role model means that members of your family, people you know in the neighborhood, others, your classmates, they watch you to see what you do. What goes into that kind of excellence? What goes into being a winning team? And you all have taken it upon yourselves to take on that responsibility of being role models and to inspire people you may not even know are watching you to see how you can achieve success. And by doing that, and all that that requires, which is the hard work, the practice, working as a team, knowing that you will be undefeated even if you don't win every game, but no circumstance or event or moment.
What? You will be undefeated even if you don't win a game.
As a team, knowing that you will be undefeated even if you don't win every game, but no circumstance or event or moment will defeat your spirit and your fight and your preparedness to win and excel, that nothing will dampen your spirit of excellence. That's what I'm counting on from each of you. And that's what makes our nation strong. So you keep doing what you're doing and know that there are so many people you may not see at any one moment who are cheering you on when they're in the stands, when you're in your classroom, when you are living your life on a daily basis. Know that we are applauding you in everything that you are and do. On this field, when you are playing, and off this field, when you are just being the leaders that I know you are. You wouldn't be able to be such a successful team if you weren't leaders in every way. And the last point I'll make is this. One of the other things that we really are counting on for your leadership is to remind folks that we are a team, right? Everybody has a little bit that's different about them. But within the vast majority of us who have
What is she talking?
seemingly differences, the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. And you guys know that. You know that in the way you operate as one team. So take that spirit with you in everything that you do. I'm counting on your leadership. Our nation is counting on you guys. And go out and win some games. And I'll see you later. Okay, thank you.
Oh my gosh. What is she talking about? Guys, do you know what she's talking about? Drop it in the comments section down below if you know what she's talking about. Oh, man. I saw this meme and I wanted to share it with you guys.
You vandalized my car.
Let's do this. Boom.
You vandalized my car.
Oh, no. Officer, we were standing across the street from your vehicle, buying some lemonade from a stand. It's like a, the wooden with
Lemonade
sign.
stand?
The lemonade stand. There were the little ones, the brownies, one of whom was Indian. And we decided that we actually wanted Arnold Parker's. And so...
Palmer's.
I don't think so.
Palmer. Arnold Palmer.
Well, let's leave that detail for another day. At any rate, he went into the house to retrieve yes, there was a man, an Irishman, who went into the house. He said, I'll go get you the iced tea for the Arnold Parker.
Shout out to everybody watching. Really appreciate you guys. Drop your comments down below. We got Come On Queen, the new nickname for Kamala Harris. Come on, Queen. Come on, Kamala. And then we got more word salad from her. Drop your comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe. And as always, I'll catch you